Hey guys, EBPMAN here. Today we're going to do a review of the SELPHY CP1200, and this is a compact photo printer from Canon. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now, as probably it's no surprise to anyone who follows the channel, I'm kind of like the family tech guy, and we have an event coming up where I've been asked to put together a photo booth. So we have a baby shower and we have some other showers going on. I think we have also a wedding shower. So I was looking for, what type of technology could we use to create a dynamic and as fast as possible photo experience. So I did some research and actually picked up this at my local big box retailer, the SELPHY CP1200, which is actually now on sale. It's actually dropping in price because of a new version coming out in several weeks, which is the CP1300. So I like taking advantage of the price drops because in many cases, especially when it goes just one number up, there's not that many changes. So this is one that I picked up. Let's do an unboxing. We'll see how it works. It's a fast photo printer and it prints up to 4x6. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing and see all the features. So here we have all the connectivity options. Really supports your DSLR, computer, and smartphone, including tablets. It supports Airprint as well. So Android phones, iPads, don't worry about it. You're going to be able to use it, as well as computers and standard phones or standard cameras. Memory card slots also are available. USB connectivity is also available. It does have a little LCD if you want to see what's going to print. I don't see much of a use for that. It also then can support a 4x6 photo, and that's something that's really important because there are some other camera printers on the market that you see, especially from HP, which is the HP Sprocket. We may take a look at that one as well. That are rapid printers, probably faster than this, but you could only get 2x3 photos. So this gives you a 4x6, which is going to work better like in a photo booth mode. It does have also, photo ID print, as you can see here, pick bridge, which is just connectivity, cropping capabilities, red eye correction, smooth skin correction, my colors, and you could put an optional battery if you wanted to take this on the go. So the other thing I wanted to highlight about this is that this happens to be, in my research, one of the most affordable photo printer options on the market. And that's because you could get up to 100, these packs right here, up to 100 photos printed for around 33 bucks. I've seen them as low as 24 bucks. Unlike some of the other solutions that I mentioned, like the HP Sprocket, which you're paying $9 for only 20 photos. So it could get pretty expensive really quick. So that's why I selected this for the events that we're going to have, because of the fact that I found that the price point was good and the quality as well, and we wanted the larger footprint. So let's go ahead and do the unboxing and see what's inside. Alright, so we'll pop this sucker up. Looks like it has some sample sheets, and the sample sheets from my research are only 5. So I would definitely, if you're going to get this, as soon as you get it, get the package that has either 50 or 100. That way you can start experimenting, because 5 is definitely not going to be enough. You have a user guide. You do have some more miscellaneous Canon stuff. You have this print tray. So this is your print tray, and the print tray is a little limited. That's one thing that also I wasn't too crazy about. We'll talk about that in a couple seconds, but I couldn't really find an option, unless you go commercial and start spending like $1,000 for a printer, that could support kind of the capacity that I'm looking for. You do have this cartridge here, which I'd say it's almost like an ink cartridge, but it's not. It's kind of in between, because this is using a different type of technology. It's not an inkjet, but this cartridge is required in order to print. You do have on this side your power cord, and you have your power brick. Okay, and now here's the good stuff. Here's the printer. So let's move this stuff over to the side and see what we have here. So here's your printer. We'll open that up. It's relatively compact. It's not as small as some of the other ones that you see, but it is definitely small enough. So you can see that right here. Just to give you a scale, this is my hand, and you can see it's almost the size of my hand. It's a little bit wider, obviously, because of the boxiness of it. And you can see that it's not that tall either. So again, what you have in your box is you have your printer, power brick, which is almost as big as the printer itself. The power cord, This is the cartridge that you'll need for printing. You do have a print tray where you put your paper, user guide and whatnot, and then you do have, Canon was very generous to give you 5 sheets to play with. Now, taking a closer look at the printer, you do have all these controls here that make it really easy to use. You notice that it has a print function here because if you put in a USB stick or a memory card, you can actually use the menu to go through what you want to print. But what I find is the most frequently used use case is you have your iPhone, you have your Android phone, you see an image, you print, and it just spits out from the printer. Now, so you have a lot of controls here that we can look at. You do have this screen. It's a smaller screen, but you definitely have a screen here. If we rotate this around, you'll notice on the side here you have kind of a cable lock. If you want to lock this up and put it, make sure no one takes it. If you're, just have a larger event and want to make sure that it doesn't disappear on you. It has the power area here. It has a USB, and then in this area, if we open this up, what we're going to find, let's see, has some plastic on here, is this is where the print tray gets connected, and then here you have an SD slot. So it's a full SD. Let's go ahead and see what else we have. On this side, you have where your print tray goes in. That's that cartridge that we talked about. And on the back, you have the paper, and this one comes in and out as it's laying the color. You'll see that in a second. Here you have the battery release, so you can actually attach a battery. Here you have your power supply. So you had USB on that side, in it looks like, and then this is where your power cord goes in right there. And on the bottom, all you have is the device number, serial number, and some feet, as you can see right there. And that's pretty much it. Now, for this event, I went ahead and picked up this pack. This was on sale from $49 to $33. So again, you're looking at $33 for 108 photos, which is not a bad deal, especially if you want to have something dynamic, something that you're doing in your home, and you're not sending something out to get printed at your local Walgreens or any kind of store. Definitely going through them, it's going to be cheaper, but this is more about the experience at the location than going somewhere else for prints. Now let me show you how this system works. So what you have is these 2 cartridges that are going to yield 108 photos, and it'll tell you once it needs a new cartridge. And the neat thing about this is that you don't have to worry about color. In the old days, when you thought about color printing, you knew that the more color you had on the photo, the less the cartridge would last. So if you used up all the blue, all the magenta, all the black, you would be concerned about that. You don't have to worry about that because regardless of what kind of colors you have here, the yield on this is going to be 108 photos. So go at it if you want a lot of color on your pictures. And now each one of these packages are broken down. This is what the cartridge yields. So I think this is about 18 in each one. So you have all these different packages. It's probably a little bit more than that, that you will just open up and place into your printer, and then it's just going to print. But the sum of these packages is going to be 100. You want to keep them sealed. You don't want to open them up until you actually need them. These photos will be water resistant. They do have these breakable tabs that you'll break off on the sides once you have your photo printed. So let's go ahead and power up the printer and see what the options look like. Alright, so pretty much the printer has multiple modes that you can use, and there's a lot of little menu options that we're not going to go through because most of the use of this printer is really going to be either printing through an iPad or printing directly from a smartphone. Now, you could use this to also print from a computer, which you could, and that's primarily because it does have Wi-Fi ability as well as direct connection that you can use to print from either your iPad or any kind of Android device or iPhone for that matter. So what I've just done is I've taken a picture of these little guys and I'm going to show you what the print process looks like. Alright, so I have my phone connected to the printer, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to send it to print. Now I did have to add a app, or not an app, it's kind of like an add-on to my Samsung phone in order to get that. You may or may not have to do that depending on the phone that you have, but I just went ahead and did that for this phone. I'm going to hit print, and what it will do is it will start communicating with the printer, as you can see here, and then we're going to see the print process start. Now the print process is going to take a couple seconds, so what you're going to see, and you'll notice on the screen here, you do have a yellow. So it's going to put kind of a yellow coating first, then it's going to go through and it's going to give it another pass, and now you can see that it has the magenta, and it's going through and adding the kind of the magenta color to it, and you notice how the colors are starting to change. And then the third one that it's going to add is your blue, and then once it adds your blue, you'll notice that the photo is much more like what we see from these little characters that we have here. Now the last coat that you're going to see coming up right here is going to be a finishing coat. That finishing coat is going to make the photo itself smudge resistant, water resistant, and as you can see here, the quality is actually really good. So there's our photo of our three characters there, and you can touch it. There's no problem with it. The paper itself, you can just break the tabs off. And now if I had, there are ways that you can format this so that it is a full color photo. So it does print border to border, so I could have opted to have it print that way. I didn't for this demonstration, but you can see blacks are really black, colors pop out nicely, really true to the characters themselves, and it's pretty fast. Now there are other printers that do just one pass and the photo comes out, but for the price point and the cost of the cartridges with the paper, I think this is a great buy, especially if you're considering setting up a photo booth. Now, as I started the video, I did mention that I was looking at this printer for a DIY photo booth. We actually used it for an event. It was a fantastic experience. So if you have questions about my DIY photo booth setup for a shower, for a wedding, for any event that you have in your home, leave it in the comment area below, and I'll create a video just going over all the things I used for my DIY photo booth. But with that, we conclude this review. If you have any comments or questions, leave it in the comment area below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And as always, don't forget to share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.